Okay, we are live now.
Okay.
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whichever part of the world you're joining us from. And today we welcome you to another edition of HISF webinar. And today we'll be treating the topic navigating the McCall MacBain Scholarship. And we're looking at an awardee's perspective and tips to success. So here with me is our Igbo scholar in person of Daniel Amoshie, and today he will be treating the topic for us. And um, we are really much expecting to learn a lot from him and also get to know about the scholarship more. So to quickly give a quick overview of our agenda today, which our speaker will be talking about. So we're going to look at have an overview of what the scholarship is, the McCall MacBain Scholarship. Then is going to talk about the benefits of the scholarship and also the application process, what the process entails, and also we going to be looking at about the university admission process because it's a different thing to have the scholarship and it's also different to have the admission. So we're going to look at which of the universities are possible to for the scholarship and which ones are not possible, and also we look at how to go about the essays, and because along the process there's also need to write essays and also to to attend interviews. We also look at that, and there'll also be room to entertain question and answer, which is going to talk in details. So before that, I will quickly want to tell you about our speaker and just a quick, which most of us should have seen the profile already, but I'll quickly give an overview for those that just going to be seeing it now. So our speaker is Danny Amoshie. Like I said, he's a graduate of electrical engineering from Ashesi University in Ghana, and he's a notable international recipient of the prestigious McCall MacBain Scholarship at McGill University, and he was awarded the scholarship year in 2024, recognizing his leadership, entrepreneurship spirit, and also his academic excellence. Our speaker is a really intelligent scholar. So, and also he's currently pursuing a master's in mechanical engineering and at McGill University, doing some interesting research, which he's going to tell you about. And now he holds over five research publications, and also he has been involved in major engineering projects such as inventing a cocoa pod breaking machine to reduce child labor and improve cocoa productivity in West Africa. And also he's also co-developed a smart solar electric toker and Flysol, an insect farming incubator designed to assist farmers in producing sustainable fertilizer and animal feed in Ghana and across West Africa. So today he's going to tell us about the scholarship and also a little bit um, about his journey into getting the scholarship. And so let's um, let's listen to what our scholar have to say. Okay, Scholar Daniel, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Hussein. And thank you to you and your team for making this possible and for putting this together to help other people in their pursuit for scholarships and
You're welcome.
opportunities to develop themselves. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I hope that I can share as much as I have learned from other people with the rest of the people joining so that they can be able to use such opportunities to explore the scholarship and even other greater ones. Yes, so the McCall MacBain Scholarship is a really great scholarship. It's a leadership type of scholarship, and it is the largest of its type in Canada. And it was established as a form of donation from McCall MacBain. It's from John and Mercy McCall MacBain, a land gift of about $200 million. And it is one of the greatest scholarships in Canada here. So it selects people based on their leadership experience, entrepreneurship spirit, community engagement, and intellectual and academic excellence. Yeah, so that's a brief overview of it. So I'll be sharing quite some few guidelines. Then after that, maybe we'll go to the question and answer session. Like you already mentioned, we'll take an overview, the application process applying to McGill, the interview overview, and some tips for other applicants. Yes, so like I mentioned, it's a leadership development scholarship. So what that means is that the scholarship does not only offer you financial support, but they are intentional about giving you leadership development through their leadership development curriculums. They offer you mentorship and coaching. They allow you to engage in community to have a broader perspective. And they do that through sessions that they run for scholars bi-weekly. So there's every 2 weeks you meet as scholars to engage and learn things about leadership and all that. So basically they do that to just equip your leadership skills and help you navigate and understand how to handle certain issues as an emerging leader. And also the mentorship and coaching session are part of the package that you receive as a scholar, where you are assigned to a coach and a mentor, and these people gives you professional support, advice, anything at all that you need for your journey at McGill here. And they it's a one-on-one personalized thing. So you are able to ask for help in any of the things that you are struggling as a student, as someone aspiring to execute an idea or anything at all. You can reach out to your coach or your mentor and tell them your experience, any challenges you're facing, and they would support you. And so, as part of the scholarship package, there are three awards that you can win. First is a regional award, and this is awarded to about 15 candidates who apply to the scholarship, and the award comes in an amount of $10,000 for the international scholars. So, when you apply, they go through a lot of rigorous process to select you to be interviewed, and I'll be sharing with us how that whole process happens. But at the first interview stage, which is the regional interviews, um, three things happens. You either win to go to the next stage, or you are awarded a regional award, or the last thing is that you are kicked out. So if you get a regional award, it comes as an amount of $10,000, which you can use to attend any university in Canada. But if you get selected to go to the next stage, then you are invited to come to Canada for your final interview. And when you get to the final interview stage, two things happens. Either you win the full funding, or you are awarded a finalist award of $20,000 to attend McGill University. And when you win the full funding, you're usually selected among 10 other or 9 other scholars to receive the full funding of the scholarship. And that is a comprehensive one. So it covers everything from your tuition to your fees to giving you stipends of $2,000 every month to cover every other expenses that you may need, that may include accommodation, transport, feeding, or any of your needs in Canada here. Moving straight to the application process. It's an application that they really want to understand you as a person, you as an emerging leader. And when we talk about leadership, it's not just about being a political leader or about leading big organization as many of us may perceive or think about. Leadership is about how you are able to put yourself together as an individual and organize your thoughts as well as put together other people around you to execute an idea that can make an impact, right? And so they're looking for persons with such capabilities. And so, in the course of the application process, you need to submit your resume, short essays, activities and work experiences that you've done over the years, um, and then recommendation as well as transcript. But throughout all these application documents, they look out for exceptional character. And what do they mean by exceptional character? Right? They are looking out for someone who have values for excellence, hard work, um, service, life learning stuff. You are able to cooperate with other people. Those things we usually mention on our CVs, that I can work under pressure, I can multitask, I can work with cross-cultural teams and all those things. I'm empathetic, I'm honest, I have integrity. Those are things we call exceptional character. And so you should be able to, in a way, tell them that, okay, I have these attributes. And this is the kind of person McCall MacBain usually look out for. The next thing is community engagement. Um, it doesn't end there if you have exceptional character, if you have all those attributes, right? But how are you able to use these attributes to the benefits of your community, to the benefit of the people around you? And a community could start as low as the people around you in your household, all the way to the people in your classroom, extending to the people in your community, in your church or mosque, or in any space at all you find yourself. That is your community. So, how are you able to use these attributes and characters you have built from your education to be able to provide like a meaningful support for them? Be it through like how you change their mindset, or how you communicate with them, how you provide little solutions from maybe some of the IT skills you've learned, some of the engineering, some of the business ideas or knowledge you've learned from school, any field at all that you've learned in school, how are you able to use that to improve your community? Then they look out for leadership potential, right? So your ability to put together these ideas and organize people, as I've already mentioned, is what they term as leadership potential. How do you have? They look out for someone who have like the potential of becoming a leader. How do you think as a person? Do you have vision? Will you be able to take initiatives on your own? Are you able to lead with purpose? Do you know the reason why you are taking a certain journey or path, right? These are leadership potential things that they look out for. Then they look out for entrepreneurship spirit, right? Now, having put all these things together, how are you able to create value out of them, right? And we usually have people who probably may have ideas, but you can't have the ideas in just your mind. You have to execute them, and executing them would require resources, right? And the resources is where the entrepreneurship spirit comes in. How are you able to sell out certain ideas to people, at the same time making value out of those ideas to build more ideas, right, for the betterment of your community? And that is what they look out for as well in applicant. Now, then to academic and intellectual curiosity, they want to know how you are building yourself in through learning, through your engagement with academic works, through your studies. How are you able to combine coursework with other things? Are you someone who is able to take, let's say, other online resources, courses, and things like that to build your intellectual capacity? How do you interact with people? How do you put together your thoughts to help improve other people, right? And that is intellectual curiosity or academic excellence. And that is also one thing they look out for. Now, Having put all these things together, it means that you are a good candidate applying to McCall MacBain. And the McCall MacBain is just like a scholar. Like I said, it's a scholarship that comes with all the other benefit that I've already mentioned. That includes the leadership, the mentorship, and all that. But that is just one aspect of your academic journey. The other aspect is for you to get admission to McGill, and that would require you to apply to McGill University. And the process are independent of each other. So your application to McCall MacBain is different from your application to McGill University, even though along the line you would keep both of them of the known of what is happening. So for instance, if you're applying to McGill, you let them know that okay, you've applied to McCall MacBain and maybe you've gotten to this stage of the application. And also whilst you're dealing with McCall MacBain, you also inform them the programs you've chosen or you are intending to apply to at McGill, and you keep them updated of every stage of the application process. And in applying to McGill, first of all, you have to search for a program. You have to find a program that suits your interest. And I kind of emphasize on this that you don't have to choose any program for choosing sake, because grad school is stressful and you will need internal motivation to um, be able to go through the journey. And so if you just choose any program for choosing sake, that would be a red flag. So you need to find a program that aligns with your goals, that aligns with your career interest, that aligns with the kind of person you've grown up to become, right? Right from your crutch days, what have been your inspirations? What have been your motivations? Why have you taken a certain career path? Why have you decided to study the kind of program that you studied in your undergrad? And why do you even want to further your education at McGill? And how does that even link to the program you're choosing? So you have to be very intentional about the program you want to choose. And so you want to make a really good search and have an overview of your program, from the way it's going to be taught all the way to how you'll be finishing everything, whether it will be course based or thesis based and all that. And I know a lot of people have shared a lot of resources on this, but in case someone has a question, they can ask more when we get to the Q&A session. But in case your program is a thesis based program, it means that you will need a supervisor. And in that case, you will have to search for a supervisor. And how you would usually do that is by going to the program website, look for a professor whose work aligns with your interest and the kind of things you've been doing. And so you find a way to reach out to them either through email or through their website. You send a cold mail and then you tell them everything that you want to tell them. And if they accept to supervise you, they would give you the go ahead to proceed with your application. The other thing is that if your program does not require a supervisor, you can just reach out to the program coordinator and tell them your interest to apply into the program. If you have some basic questions, you can ask them. But usually, I would advise that you do your homework before reaching out to these coordinators. Some people will not even read, they will just come to your DM and be like, I want to apply to this. Can you tell me more about it? That's not how it works. Professors are usually very tied with busy schedules, handling a lot of responsibilities, right? And so they don't have the luxury of time to come and tell you how the program looks like and all that. You are supposed to do that yourself. And all these informations are usually on the website of these programs. So make sure you look out for this information and do your due diligence before reaching out with specific questions. Sometimes some of these departments offer info sessions. So try your best to join these info sessions. For some countries, you can actually get free application waivers after you are able to attend some of these info sessions. And lastly, at McGill, when you pay one application fee, you are eligible to apply to two programs. And one other interesting thing about McGill is that you can apply to as many programs as you can pay. So let's say if you want to apply to four programs in different departments, all you need to do is to pay the application fee twice, and you submit to each of these programs individually, and they would evaluate them independently, and your admissions will come independently. So after the admission has come, you can now decide like to make the choice based on whatever program you want to choose. But once you accept one program, it means that automatically you have to um, turn down the rest of the other program. And so that's one good thing about McGill. You can apply to four, five, six programs, but per application fee, it can cover up to two programs. Then we go to the interview. So when you apply, usually they will want to know the kind of person uh, that have submitted their application. And so they want to know that through a conversation. And in their case, they would invite you for an interview. It's usually very competitive to be invited for interview. But once you are invited, some of the tips that you would want to take notes is to um, go over your application very well and have a good understanding of it. Sometimes they follow up with a survey. So if you respond to their survey, you just make sure that you go over it and have a good understanding of it, because they want to know the person behind the application and they want to engage with you to have a good understanding of you, and that's all. And in the interview process, you have to be concise and consistent. Being concise because it's time bound. You would usually interview for about 55 minutes, broken down into three sessions. First session of 20 minutes with one independent committee, then another session of 20 minutes with another independent committee, then a last session of 15 minutes with the two committees coming together. And so the 20 minutes, it's not a lot of time that you can speak about everything about your life. But if you're concise enough, you're able to tell them the details that they need to know about you, and then they can make informed decision from that. Consistency also because you want to tell them your journey, and you want to tell them the sense of direction that you have in this journey that you are pursuing. You don't want to be seen as someone just shadowboxing and then going around circles, not knowing where you are heading to. But you want to let them know that, okay, right from maybe basic school, this is what I've been very passionate about, and this is the kind of guidance I've been receiving to move in that direction. So I need your support to continue in that wise, right? It's one thing to know like the area where you're heading to, but maybe you don't have the resources and the support in place. But if someone just comes and they don't know where they are going at all, um, they don't also have the resources as well, then you can't really help such a person, right? But you want to come as someone who knows where at least you're going. But it's just that you don't have the resources and you don't have the right mentorship to coin down everything to exact precision. And that's the kind of person they are looking out for. And you have to be very professional in your interaction. That is not the time to go in there and be like, hey guys, and all those kind of jargons and things that people would usually do. So you have to be very professional. You have to also be unique and stand out in your engagement with them throughout. But lastly, you have to be very confident, and you have to practice if that is what you need to make you become a better version of yourself. Sometimes it can be intimidating looking at how the whole process is structured. And so you need to be confident in yourself that once you're invited, you are a good candidate and they are looking out for something in you. And so you have to be very confident to go through the process. Finally, some tips for aspirants. So, before embarking on this journey, you have to reflect on all engagement and experiences you have had over the years in your school. Maybe on the call, we might have people who have joined as graduates from their undergrad programs, and maybe some may still be in uni right now. But if you are in the university right now, I would say that once in a while, take time to reflect on your journey and see the areas where you have loopholes, and see the areas where you have gaps, and see how best you can um, explore opportunities to build yourself in those areas. So for instance, if you're someone who have all the good academic credentials, ask yourself, do I have people skills? Do I have social capital in terms of my engagement with other people and networking? Do I have volunteerism experience? Do I have corporate skills? Do I have all these other things that are there? So when you do those assessments, it helps you to um, look for ways to build yourself in those areas. And so by the time you'll be applying to opportunities like this, you have a lot to tell about yourself. And so, but if you are someone who have probably joined the call and maybe um, you have already graduated. You just have to find a way to take a deep reflection over your time back in university and ask yourself, what were some of the things I really did that were beyond my academics? How was I engaging with my group members during assignments and projects? How was I engaging with clubs, be it the football team that I was part of, or this what do you call it, volleyball, or whatever games that you were part of on campus? How was I engaging with all these people? How was I relating with other university faculty and staff on campus, right? So take a deep reflection of all these things and put them on a paper, and see the areas that best fit some of these scholarship criteria, and tell a strong story from them, right? And always try to tell the entire story, even though you have to be concise at the same time. Let them know times where you had challenges. Let them know how you overcame those challenges. Let them know how you took actions when you saw problems on campus or wherever you were in your community, and how you were able to bring people together to solve those problems. And so put together your thoughts in that wise, and then you'll be able to um, present yourself properly in this application process. The other thing is to have a clear educational path plan. Like I already said, you have to make sure that you know at least where you are heading to. At least you know that, okay, maybe I have dreams and aspiration in all these places, and so I just need the help and the guidance. This is very important because for some people, maybe they just went to school because they were pressured by their parents to go to school. And so they don't really care about whatever the outcome of their degree would be to them. But for some other people, they went to school because they thought that was the norm of the day. I also need to be a graduate, and so let me also just go for it. But for others, it is not just about any of these ones. They have seen it as an opportunity to build themselves to solve a problem. And so this kind of person need to be given a chance so that they can become a problem solver in the community. And so that's why they want to see people give like very clear plan of their education, and why they are looking forward to pursue certain programs, the reasoning behind it, and all that. So you want to really take a deep reflection to tell them why you have embarked on a certain journey, and why you want to pursue a certain path that you have been working towards. And yeah, the other thing is to present your unique story. Everyone has a unique story. and everyone has a reason behind whatever they are doing. And so make sure that you're able to present it very well. I've already touched on being concise and consistent, and then also indicate the impact you are creating. Right? Let them know how your work helps other people in your community, the people around you, how you're able to support them with the knowledge you've gained, and all that, and let them know the gaps and why you want more knowledge. And that is what would make you stand out. Now, finally, I'll just touch on other scholarships that usually look out for similar candidates and offer similar opportunities as well. One of them is the Hennessy Scholarship at Stanford in the US. It's also a very comprehensive scholarship that offers candidates with all these experiences of leadership, training, mentorship, and all the academic support that you may need in a good environment to thrive as well. Then there's also the Rhodes Scholarship at Oxford. Um, Actually, the McCall MacBain founder is the second century founder of Rhodes Scholarship at Oxford, and he's also a founding donor at the Mandela Rhodes at in South Africa. And I think he's also, yeah, one of the sponsors of Coupe Scholarship at University of Auckland. So one way or the other, all these scholarships are connected, and so their visions, their goals, and the kind of candidates they look out for are very much alike. And so you want to present your story, your case in a well-structured manner, even if you're applying to any of these scholarships. Then there's also the Swansman Scholarship in China. It's also a leadership scholarship that grooms people and offers them opportunity to world-class education. Then there's MasterCard Foundation Scholarship all across many continents in Asia, no, I think in Europe, America, and then Africa. So there are quite some number of universities in Europe. You have Edinburgh, um, I think in Oxford as well. Then here you have McGill, U of T, yeah, University of British Columbia. In the US, you have UC Berkeley, ASU, Arizona State University. In Africa, you have Carnegie Mellon, Ashesi, um, and a host of other universities. I think some in South Africa as well. Then you have Chevening Scholarship in the UK. It also offers a very comprehensive support to students um, to provide them the environment to study at world class schools. So that's basically a summary of everything. I will just end it here so that you can send in your questions and let's make it interactive. Thank you.
Oh, thanks very much. And it's really an honor to have you and also for the insights which you've shared. We really appreciate that. And so to quickly move into the next section, which is the Q&A, I already have some questions which are coming in. So let me first take this one from YouTube. So the person is asking, I want to understand something. We are to apply uh, for the same program at the university and also for the scholarship, right?
Yes, so when applying, you would have to indicate to the scholarship the programs you are intending to apply. So in the application process, you would have to indicate, I think, up to four programs at McGill. So you can indicate that I'm applying to, or I intend to apply to mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and maybe computer science. So after indicating these programs in your McCall MacBain application portal, the next thing you will do is that when McGill opens up their application, then you submit McGill's application independent. But when you are submitting McGill's application, you would indicate also in your McGill application that you have applied for McCall MacBain, and this is maybe the stage that I am. If you are in the finalist stage, if you are in the interview stage, you can put it in there. So they are done independently, but you inform the other one of what is happening in the other process. I don't know if that answers the question, but yes.
Yes, I guess so. But maybe a follow-up question to that can be, what if the person also have interest in applying to MasterCard at McGill University? So can they also make mention of that in the application? Like, okay, applying for admission, and I also show interest. Okay, I'm applying for McCall MacBain, and I'm also applying for MasterCard scholarship. Is that a good idea or no?
Yes, they can. But the other good side of it is that usually McCall MacBain process comes first. So when McCall MacBain opens up application, by the time you'll be applying to McGill, you would have known the state of things with McCall MacBain. And the other thing is that at the time MasterCard will be releasing their application, by then you would have known like your status in the McCall bin, whether you've been invited or not. So if you are not invited and you are starting the MasterCard process, you wouldn't even have to mention it again because by then you would have been kicked out or everything would have been over with you. So there's no clash. But in case you still want to do both programs twice, or in case you want to apply to both scholarship, you can indicate to both of them and tell Mastercard that I've also applied to McCall MacBain, and also tell McCall MacBain that I've also applied to Mastercard, because these institutions are working under the same university, and they will definitely know one way or the other. So you don't have to hide it from them.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the insight there.
Sure.
So we have another question from Giasi. Is asking, I want to find out that in relation to the two programs that is supposed to be on the application form, should it be from the same department?
It can be from the same department or it can be from different departments. It doesn't matter. Um, the only thing you have to do is that you would have to submit them independently. So as long as you're submitting them independently, it doesn't matter whether if it is from the same department or different department. They will still evaluate them for you.
Oh, okay. They don't have anything to do with each other. Oh, okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay. And a follower is also asking, I want to ask, when it comes to the question to ask a coordinator or a supervisor, can you give a sample question that is more appropriate to answer?
This is quite tricky, and it depends on the individuals and what may be in their mind, right? For someone, maybe they've gone through the program portal and they've realized that maybe they don't have a good understanding of how certain requirements are being mentioned. So maybe they want to know more about certain specific requirements that have been mentioned on the website. Maybe for another person, they want to know certain specific information. And so you would have to do your own homework to know what exactly you would want the coordinators to tell you. But trust me, in most cases, usually there are a lot more information on the website that you can imagine. Um, there are usually sessions like the frequently asked questions where there are questions that people have previously asked where you can access some of those information. There are also other things that are generally listed about the program requirement, everything you need to know. But if your questions does not fall within any of these areas, then you can directly ask the program coordinators. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thanks for the response. I hope Giasi has gotten his answer. And so to the next question on the list, so Gillian is asking, okay, what's the price of the application fees?
At the time I was applying, it was about $132 dollars for international applicants. But I think
Canadian
for,
dollars, right?
yeah, Canadian dollars for international applicants applying to graduate programs. But I think it's also different for citizens and also for people applying for undergrad programs. But you can also cross check some of these information online just to confirm how much you'll be paid. But yeah, 132.
But the scholarship doesn't cover for undergraduates, or does it?
No, it doesn't cover for undergraduate. It only covers for graduates and professional programs.
Professional programs like
Um,
MBA?
Not MBA per se, but professional degrees like maybe sometimes someone can do let's say medicine or medical school 6 years and they want to do a professional programming specializing in certain area in the medicine, but it's not PhD and it's not
Okay.
entirely masters too as well because for medicine it's usually a combination of undergrad and then some level of masters combined. So for them, they do things like professional programs
Oh, okay, okay.
and maybe sometimes some law students do as well.
Okay. So, we have another question here that says, in case you get either the regional or the finalist award, can you still apply for another scholarship? And is it by force to use the money to attend Maggie or even a university?
Yes, so how this works is that for the regional award, um, you would have to use it to attend a either of the awards, you have to use it to attend a university in Canada. But for the regional award, you can use it to attend any university in Canada aside McGill. But for the finalist award, you have to use that funding to attend McGill. And when you are awarded, the money is not given to you in cash until you come to school and then they see you on campus like until you
Okay.
do all those processes and then your department will request for the funding to be sent to you to then add it up to your fees and make payment and the rest of the process continues. And so you can't just sit home and then request for the money to be sent to you like that. Yeah.
So, will the money be sufficient to cater for your all your studies in other university like, let's say, Alberta or
Well, for
BC?
the regional awards, it's insufficient, and even the final award, because for McGill fees, for international students, it ranges between 20,000 to 25,000 per
Oh,
year.
Oh, per year.
Yes. So if you get the finalist award, which is 20,000, you may need to outsource other funding either through teaching assistantship or research assistantship. And the good thing is that if you apply to thesis-based programs, the thesis-based programs also comes with their own funding. So um, it can happen that you get a thesis based program and also get the finalist award, and the two can come together to support your entire studies. But in case you don't get like any TA or graduate assistantship or any of these other funding, then you might have to rely on family support and other things. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
sorry. Oh, okay. So we have okay, thanks for that. Let me just move to the next one. Please, the interview, when the candidate is invited, is it going to be online or in person?
So the interview is in two stages. The first one is the regional interviews, and that one is done online. And the second one is the final interview. That one is done in person in Canada here.
Wow.
So the regional interviews, they break like the entire globe into various regions. So we have sub-Saharan Africa, and we have the Middle East and North Africa. We have Europe. We have I think South Asia, Asia, the Americas, the Caribbean, and a whole lot of other regions. So they schedule the interview dates for each of these regions. And in each of the regions, they select just some number of candidates, which they interview sometime for 1 or 2 days. So after they do all those regional interviews, they select about 30 something, 35, 37, depending on some factors per year. And they invite all those 30 plus candidates globally to come and compete for 10 slots, which is the final award. But usually the regional awards, like I said, even if you don't qualify to the next stage, sometimes you can get um, the regional award funding, which you can use for other things. But once you are invited, then you are coming to compete for 10 slot. And that one would happen in person. They would cover all your costs from visa to flight to accommodation until your return. So they'll fly you in here, interview you, and after I think 4 or 5 days, you would return back to your country and they would then tell you the fate of your journey. Yeah, that's
Wow,
what happens.
that's interesting to know. That's interesting to know. Oh, wow. So, to the next question, this person would like to know, what do you think stood out for you to be selected for the scholarship?
Yeah, this is a very deep question, and
Yeah,
uh,
the person wants to know how
it's
deep it is. Yeah, I'd say.
yeah. The truth is that because it's a comprehensive scholarship, they look out for a whole lot of things, and those are the things I've enlisted. They look out for your community engagement, right? So if you're someone who engages with your community by using your educational knowledge to provide some level of support and resources, engagement with your community. That's the kind of person they are looking out for. So you have to stand out in terms of community engagement. You have to stand out in your academics. Of course, maybe first class or second class upper in your academics. But even if you have second class lower, you can still stand a chance because of the other criteria which they look out for. You have to be someone who engages well with your recommenders because they are going to speak something about you which you will not have access to. So what is it that they are going to tell the recommenders, or what is it that they are going to tell the committee that will still match the true person that you are? So you have to make sure that you also relate well with these people so that they can speak well of you. You also have to stand out in your entrepreneurship spirit. Do you have entrepreneurship ideas? Do you have leadership ideas? How were you able to navigate certain challenges when they came to you throughout your journey in your education, in your community? Do you take initiatives? Like something like what you and your team have done, for instance, makes you stand out in taking initiatives to share knowledge with other people and all that, right? So it's a really broad spectrum of things that they look out for. And so you have to make sure that you represent yourself very well across all these areas, even though you might not be 100% across each of these areas, but make sure that you have some level of good representation in all these areas such that you'll be given the chance. So those are the kind of people they look out for.
Thanks for the insightful
Yeah.
response. Yeah, I just have some other questions here which I would
Mhm.
like to just ask. So,
Okay.
so what kind of grade would you consider fit for the scholarship? Like, a 2-1, a first class degree, or a 2-2 with a very good community engagement?
Well, the the truth is that McGill University is very competitive to get in. And so, even though the scholarship might want to fund you to come and study because you have other um, qualifications, they wouldn't want to compromise the fact that it will be rigorous for you to get admission to into McGill. And so, there have been instances where people have gotten invited for interview or things like that, but they didn't get admission. And so, in that case, it's an automatic cut. They are going to cut you off the process. So, because of that, you would have to have a very strong academic standing, um, mostly first class or second class upper. That would make you like good enough to fit in any of the programs you may want to apply at make you stand out enough. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the bit I can share about grade and things like that. Even though some people might be able to still do well, even if they have like lesser grades and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks very much for that. So it's a mixture of all of those criteria.
Mhm. Yeah.
To the next one is, can we have a platform where we can be mentored on the application process and how to write competitive application? I guess that's what we are currently doing on sharing your experience and all of those. But
Yeah.
someone would like to know if there's probably you have a specific platform which you've created or which you anchor all of those on how to get a scholarship, if you have any, maybe.
Well, no, for now, I don't have any platform for doing that.
Okay.
Currently, I'm just in pursuit of my degree right now. So I usually try my best to respond to people when they reach out on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, and other platforms, but I don't have a dedicated platform where I share um, really detailed mentorship and things like that regarding this particular scholarship. Yeah. But if the need be, I would make time to try. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Okay.
I can join your platform, and if people have
Oh,
questions, once in a
oh,
while I
okay.
can respond to some of their questions.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll definitely do that. Also, are there need for any standardized tests for admission
Um,
or the scholarship, TOEFL or IELTS?
for the scholarship, you don't need standardized tests for the application process, but for some of the McGill programs, you need it. And so usually they would recommend you to look out for those requirements in your program specific department website. But aside that, you don't need those standardized tests to apply to the scholarship. And for myself, I didn't have to submit any of that because my department didn't also need any standardized test. But in case some of them need it, usually for English speaking countries, you don't need English proficiencies and things like that, like IELTS or TOEFL. But for GRE and things like that, some programs do need it. So you just have to look out and then act accordingly.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. So I have another question here. So, this person would like to know what are the formats, or do you have formats on how to prepare CVs or how to go about structuring the essays?
Um, well, for the CV,
And
um,
also, do you attend to reviews, like to review their document before submitting?
well, I do not usually do reviews of documents, and like you shared initially, I'm not also like an agent of or anything of that sort. I
Yeah.
just have some knowledge about the whole process, and I try to share that to help guide others. In terms of CV, what I would just recommend is that make sure that your CV reflects these areas they look out for. Make sure it reflects your academics in terms of if you had some achievement, be it course excellence achievement, dean's awards, scholarships, presentations that stood out. publications, and things like that. Make sure you capture some of these details in your CV. But in your AC, you have to make sure that your AC tells a story of how your journey started as a person. What were the things that inspired you or challenged you? Why did you take a certain path? And how has that journey been? um, Moving forward to your educational degree, how were you able to navigate through your program? What were the challenges? How were you able to use the knowledge you acquired to tackle some of the challenges that you experienced either back home or you witnessed or things like that? How does some of the things that you do connect to your long-term goals? So you just make sure that you tell a story in your essay that captures all these experiences, and that is what they look out for. But it's quite unfortunate that people just sometimes um, says a whole lot of things on their applications, but you have to make sure that you take time to reflect and present your case very well in that order, and that would make you stand out.
Okay, thanks very much for that. And so to the next question, from the YouTube page, this person is asking, okay, Chevening scholarship have a constraint attached to it, which says one must return back to his country after studies. What if I want to start up living after school? What's the school benefit? I guess this person is asking in relation to the McCall MacBain Scholarship.
Well, McCall MacBain does not have a strict written rules for scholars. So you do not have to return right after study. But if you have ideas or projects in mind that you think will be beneficial to your community and you want to return to execute them, then that's a very big plus to them and a plus to you as well and the people around you. They are trying to build you to become a person who can solve problems in your space. And so, after studies, if you think you've still not built enough capacity to go back to make that change, you can still opt to study for more, be it through PhD or professional program, or work to gather some experience. But once you think that you are fit enough to make that impact that you want to see, then you can return back to your country and make that impact straight away. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So it's not like it's a must
a fixed.
to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. So I think this question is related to the other question which I have, and
Mhm.
so this person is like, is this restricted to programs like some other scholarships? Like,
No,
is it like specific that you must do something in engineering or you must do something in humanities or so, or all the courses
no,
rendered by the
it's open to all programs. One thing I just also want to key in is that there's difference between usually need-based scholarship and prestigious scholarships. So usually some scholarships like Mastercard usually have a tailored focus to help people acquire knowledge in specific areas so that they can go solve a specific need, right?
okay.
And so those ones usually have restrictions, but prestigious scholarships like McCall MacBain, they do not have specific program that you have to apply strictly to. They are open to all programs that are masters and professional.
Oh, okay, okay. And thanks very, very much. And
Yeah.
I think with that, we've come to the end of the Q&A. And so if you have any other question, I guess you could always um, ask it on the description on the YouTube page, or you can write to any of the admins of the platform, so you always get your answers. And also we'll be adding our Daniel to the group, so he can have the opportunity to answer your question directly. Also, before asking, ensure you go through the session, which he has explained quite well on different part of the scholarship. So, and also for those that might not have subscribe to the channel, you can just try as much as possible to do so, so you have regular update. And for subsequent sessions, we always be streamed on the YouTube page, so you have the opportunity to know. So to do a just a quick recap on what we already discussed. So our amiable scholar have been able to take us through the journey for the on navigating the McCall MacBain Scholarship, and sharing his insights, his journey, and every other component which are very important for us in terms of the overview of the scholarship, the benefits, how the scholarship process is looks like, and the admission process into McGill University. And also, he has also stated that it's very important for you to know if your course that you'd be interested in is a thesis based or if it's non-thesis based, because when you have to do a thesis based, then you have to reach out to an intending supervisor to have their consent, such that you can always include it in your application. So it's very important, because the scholarship without you can't have the scholarship without having an admission. Like, it's you can lose the scholarship if you don't have the admission, like he rightly said. And also, you also need to be motivated. And if you happen to be in your final year in undergraduate, it's not only about just reading, it's not only about your academic achievements. You also need um, other rudiments, like you also need to be engaged in community development, engage in your community leadership activities. These are also really important, and is also one of the these are also qualities in a couple of scholarship like he rightly mentioned, which are Chevini scholarship, Mastercard scholarship, and all of these are kind of interconnected. Whereby when you have all of these, you have the opportunity to apply to all of these scholarship, and who knows which one can actually come true for you um, to achieve your goals. And also, he made mention that you must also be real, be motivated in your interviews, such that you are not be very certain about when you are talking about your experiences, and be convincing, and don't be so it's not a guess game. You also need to
Yeah.
be very motivated, and show your enthusiasm about the scholarship, about the program, and also about the course which you want to study. It should not be that, oh, you just want to do a course because someone, maybe your uncle wants you to be a doctor or wants you to be
Mm.
something. So you have to be convinced and know why you actually want to. And one thing is a very big investment to get any of the scholarship, and no one will want to take a gamble on you to for the scholarship. So you also need to be well prepared and know what you want. With that, the sky is is your limit. Yeah. So, just that was just a quick recap, and also to round everything up, we just want to let's thank everyone for joining the session, and until next time, you keep applying to those life-changing opportunities, and there are a lot of scholarship which you can apply to, and I'm very sure you once you keep, it's about persistency and also
Yeah.
getting the right information. Once you're able to, you are in the niche where you can get the right information, then you are good. You're good. And thanks very much. And until next time, Kehinde, Salami, and uh, thanks for being part of the session. And also to our amiable speaker, we really appreciate you, and we know it's not easy to carve out about an hour and 5 minutes for this session. It's really a privilege to have you, and we wish you success in your endeavors and also your master's program and beyond. And thanks very much for
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
yeah, it's really an honor and a pleasure. All right, so we will be ending the stream now. So if you need to watch it, you can always go back to the YouTube session, and also you keep watching it while you prepare for your application during the course of your application. And if you have any question, you can always you can always write to us or write to the speaker directly. I hope okay, just to also add have your consent, they can also reach out to you on LinkedIn.
Yes, they can.
uh, and your name is just like we also have it, Danny Amoshie. You can reach
Yes.
out to him on LinkedIn. It's just type it on your LinkedIn search. his name will come up, and you can always reach out to him and also ask your questions. Like I always say, go through whatever the documents, the session before asking your question, because when you ask a very general question, it looks somehow like it doesn't give a good impression of you. But when you ask specific question, then the person will be willing to ask to answer your question. So go through the session before asking your questions, and yeah, we from my side wish you the very best in your scholarship journey. All right, bye. Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah.